this was kind of a thing that it kind of shocked a lot of Chief fans because he appeared on Good Morning Football. And he was talking about getting paid. And obviously, this whole offseason, we're talking about Sneed, Chris Jones, but he made a weird comment about how he deserves a new contract. This is interesting from a guy who missed 6 games due to suspension, and then gets hurt, tears his ACL at the end of the season. So it's like we're talking about a new contract for that. I mean, we only played in a few games, and he's probably going to miss half the season next year. But his quote was, I think I did, to be honest. The question was about getting a new contract. He said, I think I did enough to be honest. Like you said, 7 sacks in 11 games, in the sack in the championship game to kind of spark off the wave of defensive plays. Finished second on the team in sacks and didn't have the first 6 games to catch up with George and Chris. I think I did. I think the tape speaks for itself. I think I showed dominant run play, and then with the pass rush inside and outside, and just winning one-on-ones, creating turnovers, being the spark, and like the energy plays they wanted me to be when I got there. So obviously, Omenihu signed through 2024 with a base salary of $6.74 million and a cap number of $10.97 million. An extension would likely bring that cap hit down. JD, what are your thoughts on this? We're in an offseason where we're talking about keeping Chris Jones, potentially keeping Sneed. To set for a guy who's probably going to miss like half a season next year, this guy's saying he wants a new contract. What do you think about that?
I like Charles Omenihu. He brought a lot to our defense this past year. And it was sad to see him get hurt before the Super Bowl, man. I wish he had played. And I know he wanted to play. This contract that he signed, I know it was like one of those things that pay out, come out here and perform, and I do. And his numbers show that he was propelling to be the top defensive end. I think his numbers probably would have definitely got it if he had played all the games, if he went to suspension, and if he didn't get hurt. So I think that he has a case for possibly getting a new contract. Chiefs don't have to give it to him. It's a business. And because of the injury, that's the bad part about it, they can argue the point like, hey, we don't know how you're going to respond with this ACL tear, right? And it's so unfortunate that it happened, because if he had remained healthy, then he has an easier case, right, to sign a longer-term deal or to get a bigger contract. But, the business part of it, the people for the Chiefs, are going to use, hey, you got hurt. What does this mean? We're going to miss you all next year. Can we sign you a long-term deal? We ain't even going to be available on the field to come play. We don't even know what game you're going to come back to play. So that it's unfortunate, but things are where they are right now, because he's still gonna have to be like, hey man, you got to bring it. We got to still perform, right? We got you under contract. You got to still perform. And so it's up to him if he feels like it. And like I said, his numbers warrant that. Sure, he was doing a good job for us last year. And look, he sees the big contracts these guys getting paid, right? He sees the Bosas and, everybody else. Crosby, he sees guys getting paid money. Hendricks, he sees these guys getting this money. And so to him, he wants a piece of that. He wants a piece of the pie. I'm not mad at him trying to get it. I'm not mad at him trying to politic to get the money, to get the contract, and come to the people like, yo, man, what do y'all think? Hey, Charles Omenihu, you did a hell of a job, buddy. You did a hell of a job. Thank you for everything you brought here. A hell of a job. Now, when you go to that table, this is what's going to happen. They're going to use your injury against you. They're going to use you being suspended against you. They're going to use you coming back next year against you. So that's what you're looking at. But if you can make that case and you can make it convincingly, then you get a new contract. Okay? But you're playing big boy ball now. And, the Chiefs ain't gonna sign it because they like you. Okay, they love you, but this is business. And you perform again like this, you got every position to say I deserve a new contract, without a doubt. The injury derailed you for what you wanted to do. That's the problem. That's the problem, and I know you know that. So that's the battle you had to fight. I wish you well, man. I hope you get everything you're looking for. I do. So we'll see what the Chiefs are going to do with it. But
are you shocked? I mean, it's just a year after signing a 2-year deal. I mean, I feel like you sign a 2-year deal. You're kind of getting yourself into, right?
I mean, you do, but I mean, the thing is, if you play well, then that's null and void, right? Shoot. I mean, it's like, hey, man, I need to get paid more money than what I'm getting. The 6 or 7, however much he's getting, I need to get paid more, right? Especially if my numbers show that. But we're thinking your numbers need to be somewhere. I don't know what he's asking. Has he said how much he wants? He hadn't said it.
No, just a new
deal.
He
said he wants a contract, right? Mm-hmm. So
I'll tell you what, extend him, bring that cap hit a little bit lower, but give him a three something year deal. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. But I'd love to have him for a long term. It's just the fact that he had the suspension that's going to go against him as well. The personal conduct stuff, they're going to use that against him. So we missed the first 6 games of you last year because of that. Then you get hurt. We don't know when you're going to come back next year. So it's it's for me, it seems like it's a weird time to be asking for a new contract when these two things have happened, So
yeah, well, they had TJ Watt. He was another one that they got hurt, right? Well, look at him. He's getting paid. Well, shoot, I don't know. They might have to take a little money from TJ Watt. Look. Yeah. You always going to compare yourself to other guys out here, right? And these guys get paid. That's how it works. And so his numbers are going to look at look, man, look at my numbers compared to everybody else. And so if the Chiefs feel like that he's got a valid case, okay, they will entertain that thought. So heck, I always thought I need to get paid more money than what I did.
Hey, it's a problem when you don't think you're worth the money, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's true. I'm like, hey, man, Sue. Stop looking at it and try to look at your wallet like, hey, yeah, maybe it's for you. And okay. You got to play the game. That's how it works, man. Negotiation comes into it. Mm-hmm. But Charles, he has a case, man. I mean, he did well for us last year.
Yeah. And plus too, when you are playing a 2-year deal and you do tear your ACL, that to yourself, you're like, man, I don't know how much longer I have in the league, man. I need to capitalize when I can capitalize. So yeah, man, I get it 100%. I'm not knocking him for it. I just think it's, it's interesting when a year we're only talking about Sneed and Jones, and all of a sudden you hear this rumblings from a guy who's, he just started with the squad. He's hurt. He's going to miss half the season next year, or how long he's going to miss. But I thought it was interesting that he's already asking for a new contract, or he thinks he's done enough to earn a new contract.
Well, I look at a guy tied for 17th, right? Is our own Chris Jones, 10.5 sacks. And right below him, tied another 17th, is George Kalafdis at 10.5 sacks. So he could have easily been up there. And so when you're talking about that, you got to talk about the money. Is money equal to my production? And so this is just negotiations, man. It's negotiations. So
and maybe they'll tackle that. Maybe they'll address that once they get the top 2 guys figured out. Then we'll play ball. Maybe give them an extension.
Yeah, for sure.
So. All right, well, JD, it's starting to storm here, and I don't want to lose power during this. It's starting to storm here badly. I hear the wind out here howling.
I got you, man. Kalafdis is a beast. We haven't even mentioned him yet. George to get his time. He is a beast, without a doubt. We're talking contract negotiations, stuff like that. George, hey man, we absolutely respect and love George.
And we get 5 year, and we get the 5-year bonus with him being a first-round pick. So we're gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys we didn't mention on defense who dogs out there. We understand that. We just talk about the guys that right down. contract worthy. We're talking about it.
Mhm.
So, Stu, what says, hopefully the Chiefs don't make the same mistake with Chris Jones like the Eagles did with Reggie White to let him go to the Packers. No less was insane. Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.